Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. So today we're going to look at the new upcoming Tabaxi race in DDO. So in this video, I'm going to give you a basic overview of the race. Then I'm going to show you what they look like, the male and female versions. Then we're going to go through the enhancement trees one by one for every ability so you can see those. So we're going to go through the base Tabaxi race enhancement tree and the iconic Tabaxi racial tree. And yeah, so let's just get started. If you want to skip around, I will put timestamps in the description if you want to just skip to a certain spot. But anyways, let's start on the release notes, and then I'll hop over to game footage and actually show you what they look like. But the release notes here lay out some of the basics for Tabaxi. So let's see. So this is the release notes for Lamania, which was released today, which is April the 12th. So one thing I need to note before I start, I'm making this video on the 12th after about 3 hours of testing and playing with the tree in the new race on the test server. So if I get something wrong, comment below, let me know if I missed something. Also be aware that this stuff is on the preview server, so everything is subject to change. And well, were already a few things that are going to be changed from what I'll show you live, and I'll mention those as we go through it. But anyways, let's get started with the basics. So Tabaxi is the base race. Tabaxi Trailblazer is the iconic, and the iconic is a monk. So a couple things that they want to mention here. The overview for Tabaxi. So Tabaxi, if you don't know, are a cat-like feline race. They are a base race that starts in Eberron. They resemble cats. Tabaxi are a dexterous race that are light on their feet. Their innate feet allows them to move quickly after spending a short time planning their next move. Tabaxi make good rogues, monks, and bards, and that base ability that lets them move quickly. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but essentially what it does is it gives you a action boost bonus for a sprint boost bonus after you stand in place for a varying amount of time. The base is 6 seconds, but you can upgrade that in the enhancement trees. So as you can see here, the Tabaxi base stats, they start with +2 dexterity, and that's it. So there's no like other plus abilities or minus abilities, just +2 dexterity. Feline agility is their starting feat, so like both the iconic and the base race get that. And by default, what it does is after standing still for 6 seconds, when you move again, you get a +30% action boost bonus to movement speed for 6 seconds. That's just the base. You can't upgrade it. But anyways, as you can say, I mean, this race is a very fast race. If you want a Zerg, this is going to be the race for you. This is definitely going to be the like the most Zerg friendly race there is, because even when you're just standing still with feline agility, you can be standing still, melee someone, and then after meleeing for a little while, you're gonna get that 30% action boost, and you can upgrade this to where you only have to stand still for 3 seconds. But we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to the enhancement trees. But their past lives. So the racial past life for Tabaxi is the first racial past life +1 tumble, then +1 dexterity, and then +1 racial AP, like other racial past lives after you get the third one. So this next part of the release notes goes to the enhancement trees. I'm going to skip this because we're going to go through that in the actual game, which we'll swap over to in a second. So let's talk about the basics for Tabaxi Trailblazers, which is the iconic. And as I mentioned before, they do start with 1 level of monk. They specifically are geared to be staff user monks. And the description here says, passed down between generation of Tabaxi. The title of Trailblazer represents this Tabaxi's ability to always find a way forward. Like standard Tabaxi, they gain the ability to negate falling damage and move with quick bursts of speed. Tabaxi Trailblazers gain True Seeing and can gain defensive bonuses when they dodge and tumble. So another thing you'll see with the iconic specifically, but really with both, is that it really rewards you for, say, tumbling or falling from jumping off of, say, like a crate or something, which we'll get into that when we get to the trees. They also use their expanded dexterity to excel with quarterstaves, gaining offensive bonus with the weapons, and the ability to use them to trip all enemies. And the iconic specifically gets an ability we'll talk about in a minute, which lets them trip enemies. The Tabaxi Trailblazer base stats is the same as the iconic is the same as the base. They both get +2 dexterity. They both get feline agility. And another thing to note, Tabaxi Trailblazers also get a unique set of quarterstaff attack animations. The iconic past life is +1 to trip DCs per stack up to 3, and then the passive bonus is +1 to saving throws versus traps per stack of past lives up to 3. Okay, so in this here, if you want to look at this, I'll also link these release notes in the description. But in orange here, you can see the differences between the iconic and the base race. But we'll talk about some of these when we get to them. So now let's hop over to the game, and I'll show you what they actually look like. All right, so here's what the base male Tabaxi looks like, and I'll just make some randomized appearances here, just so you can get an idea of some of the possible looks for this race. Again, this is the males. The females do look a little bit different. Let's hop over to the females right now. All right, and this is the Tabaxi female. One very important thing to note about the appearance, they don't have any hairstyles in yet for the females. So this is not really an accurate representation of what the females look like, but just note that there is no hairstyles yet in the game, but they will have hairstyles when they finish with the race. Remember, this stuff is still in preview, so they don't have everything finished yet. But yeah, here's what they look like. A little bit difference between the females and the males, as you can see. All right, and here is the male Tabaxi Iconic. It's a little bit hard to get a good camera angle here. They'll probably have some work to do on this, but anyways, this is the best I can get you. But anyways, here's what they look like. All right, and here is the female Tabaxi Iconic. Again, be aware they do not have hairstyles in for the females yet. All right, let's log into the game, and we're going to go through the entire base Tabaxi enhancement tree. All right, so let's go through these abilities one by one. So the cores. The cores for the base Tabaxi is +1 dodge, +1 dexterity bonus for the first core in light armor, maximum dexterity bonus in light armor specifically. You get a choice of either dex or wisdom. Core 2, core 3, again, +1% dodge, +1 maximum dexterity bonus in light armor. Obviously with Tabaxi, you're going to be wanting to wear light armor and use evasion, which we actually get in the tree later on. In the fourth core, dexterity or wisdom again. In the fifth core, you get +1% dodge and dodge cap, +1 maximum dexterity bonus in light armor. Let's move to tier 1. Tabaxi gets a lot of extra to hit. So sharp claws, tier 1, you get up to +3 to attack, 1 for each tier. There's 3 tiers. Next is the ability Cat Scratch. So this is an ability that only the base Tabaxi gets. You do not get this ability with the Iconic. The Iconic gets something different, as we'll talk about in a minute. But it's not very good here in tier 1, but you upgrade it. You can upgrade it twice later. So for the tier 1 here, it's a single target melee attack, 6-second cooldown, +2 weapon damage. One upgrade here is in Hunt Down in tier 2. So now your Cat Scratch ability hamstrings opponents for 3 seconds, reducing their movement rate by 50%. So you can upgrade this Cat Scratch to this. And then there's one other upgrade here called Deep Scratches in tier 4. Now your Cat Scratch deals bane damage to targets it hits that are vulnerable to bleed. This damage is equal to 1d8 damage +1 per character level and scales with melee power. So basically you get an attack that does a little bit of damage and has a little bit of a CC effect to it. All right, let's continue on here. And that's if you upgrade it, of course. It doesn't do a whole lot for you, just a +2 weapon melee attack here in tier 1, but you really need to upgrade it to make it more effective. Acrobatic here in tier 1 is up to, if you go to all 3 tiers, +3 balance, jump, and tumble, +6 armor class while tumbling. Land on your feet, and this is an ability that both the Iconic and the base Tabaxi get, is you don't take falling damage at all. It's definitely thematic, I will say that. Sneaky strikes, you get +1 sneak attack die. Hunt Down, your Cat Scratch now hamstring. So we talked about this already. Let's see, surprise claws, up to +3 attack while flanking. So more to hit. High places. This is a very interesting ability. So this is an ability that kind of rewards you for jumping off of things. So it kind of makes sense as a cat. The play style is a very agile one. So if you jump off of an object and you have to, in order for this to proc, you have to be falling for at least 1.5 seconds. So you're probably always going to want feather fall on your Tabaxi for this ability to proc. But if you fall for at least 1.5 seconds, this ability will proc, and you get +2 critical hit confirmation and damage, and +25% armor piercing for 20 seconds. Okay. I have tested this out some. I was not. I haven't tested it on a character with max jump yet, but it seems like you can't really get it even with Featherfall if you're just kind of jumping around most of the time. You'll need to jump off at least a little bit of an elevated plane. But again, I need to test that with full jump. So you all comment below. Let me know if you've gotten a chance to test this out yet. But it sounds like you're, when you can, you want to be jumping off of things as a Tabaxi and wearing Featherfall so that you linger in the air for that 1.5 seconds more often. Deflect arrows, you get the deflect arrows feat, so a little built-in protection there. Slip out of danger, up to +6 saving throws versus traps, and the tier 3 +1 to reflex saves. Up to tier 3 now, up to +3 melee damage with sharp claws. And that's at the tier 3. You get a little dodge bypass here in corner. Natural climber. This one is being taken out of the game, so I need to note this. They noted this in the release notes. It's marked right now on this preview server as giving you extra movement speed on ladders, but they're going to take this out. They said technical reasons. There are technical reasons for that, so there will be something replacing this ability. We don't know what yet. Focused agility, your Phenon agility now only requires you to stand still for 3 seconds and last for 9 seconds. Okay, so that's an upgrade. So that's going to be a really nice upgrade because there's a big difference between standing still for 3 seconds versus 6 seconds. So in both the Iconic and this base Tabaxi can get this. So instead of having to stand still for 6 seconds to get that plus 30% action speed boost, you only have to stand still for 3 seconds, and it lasts for 9 seconds as opposed to, I believe it's 6 seconds for the base. Okay, additional sneak attack die. And here we go to the top tier of the tree. So Lash Out. This is a multi-selector. Probably the one most people are going to be attracted to is Vigor, so you get a little bit of healing SLA. If you want to take that, so you get the Vigor spell. So that's really nice. I mean, say certain classes, like say like rogues, for example, don't get any spell healing inherently, other than what they can do with like scrolls and things. So that might be really nice on certain classes. There's also a couple other options here. So Rapid Scratch plus 3% double strike while single weapon fighting. Quick Paw plus 3% double shot with thrown weapons. Note that's thrown weapons. And then Lash Out plus 5% offhand strike chance of using light melee weapon or rapier in both hands. All right, so the next one, Deep Scratches, we talked about before. Focus agility, we've already talked about. I believe this is a bug because this is the same ability. I don't know if they're going to put here the same ability the Iconic have or not to get up to the 50% action boost speed, so we'll have to see. But this appears to be duplicated in the tree, so we'll just skip this for now. This will probably be replaced with something else. 9 lives, you gain the Rogue's Defensive Roll feat. So that's not really going to benefit you if you're already a rogue. And then here you get evasion in tier 4. All right, so let's hop on over to the Iconic. Okay, let's move on to the Iconic here. First thing I'll show you is the unique Cordyceps animations. So here's what those look like. And I don't really play Cordyceps characters, so you all tell me how much different these are. I'm not entirely sure, but here's what it looks like. All right, let's get into the enhancement tree. So enhance Tabaxi. So here's the cores. Cores plus 1% dodge, plus 2% dodge bypass. So a little bit different with the dodge bypass compared to the base. They also get, like the base Tabaxi, choice of dexterity or wisdom. Core 3 plus 1% dodge, 2% dodge bypass. Again, core 4, same thing, dexterity or wisdom choice. And then the 5th core is, again, plus 1% dodge and dodge cap, plus 2% dodge bypass. So a little bit different because the 5th core you get dodge cap in addition to dodge. Okay, let's move on to tier 1. So tier 1, same thing as base Tabaxi, you get plus 3 to attack. Sharp claws. This is different. So low blows, you get plus 3 to trip DCs, double if you have a quarterstaff equipped. So that's up to plus 6 trip DCs, which is a lot for a heroic racial tree. And as you'll see later, this makes sense to give them trip DCs because they have a trip in the top tier 4 here. They have a trip ability that we'll get to in a second. Acrobatic, plus 3 balance, jump, and tumble, plus 6 armor class while tumbling if you take all 3 tiers. Land on your feet, same as Tabaxi. Base, you don't take falling damage. +1 sneak attack die. Tier 2, up to +3 attack while flanking if you take all 3 cores, or all 3 tiers. Again, this is the same as base Tabaxi. Hunt down, your cat scratch now hamstrings opponents for 3 seconds. I believe this is a bug. I'm not sure entirely what's supposed to be here, but this doesn't make sense because the base Tabaxi doesn't have cat scratch. I'm not sure. You all might have to correct me there in the comments. High places, so this is similar to same thing as the base Tabaxi. After falling for at least 1.5 seconds, when you land, you get +2 critical hit confirmation, +2 critical hit damage, and +25% armor piercing for 20 seconds. So I'll show you real quick this proccing. Okay, so let me give you a demonstration real quick of how easy or not easy it is to get this ability to proc. So if I have a 20 jump on this character right now, and character has Featherfall on. So as you can see, just jumping around here, I'm not getting it to proc. But if you just jump on not even that high, just a little bit of a higher elevation here, I should be able to get this to proc. So see right there, high places did proc. So you don't have to be like on top of like a mountain or anything. Just you should be able to get it to proc. See, it didn't proc there, but it just a slightly elevated place with Featherfall on should be able to get this to proc. And obviously, if you get a max jump on your character, it's going to be easier. Okay, let's move on. So deflect arrows, similar to the base Tabaxi, you get the deflect arrows feat. Slip out of danger, up to +6 saving throws versus traps, +1 reflex saving throws at if you take all 3 tiers. I believe that's the same as the base Tabaxi as well. Staff adept, +1 melee damage. Create weapon aptitude. So this is a little different. This was not in the base Tabaxi tree. So the iconic gets up to +20% strike through, which makes sense because it's a quarterstaff monk focus tree. Next, stealthy, up to if you take all 3 tiers, +3 hide, move silently, +50% enhancement bonus to movement speed while sneaking. So this is something that I believe the base Tabaxi does not get. So lots of extra speed from sneaking. Focused agility. So this is similar to the base Tabaxi, same thing. You now only have to stand still for 3 seconds, and it lasts for 9 seconds. +1 sneak attack die, similar to base Tabaxi. So this is the unique iconic attack. So if you take all 3 tiers, it's a cleave. It has 6-second cooldown, and it's a quarterstaff melee attack. So you have to use it with a quarterstaff. You basically do +5 weapon damage to all nearby enemies. Enemies who are hit must make a balance check. DC 54. I'm not sure if the DC number is correct there. 54 seems odd. But the DC is 54 plus Dex mod plus trip bonuses. Again, that description, I think the description is wrong there. But we'll see. But anyways, it's a DC based on your Dex mod and trip bonuses to make enemies tripped or be tripped as per the improved feat. Improved trip feat shares a cooldown with Great Cleave. So kind of a built-in CC ability there. Staff deflection. While holding a quarterstaff, when deflect arrows triggers, you gain action boost bonus to double strike for 6 seconds. So that's kind of interesting. So you get more double strike when you get hit by arrows. When the deflect arrows feat triggers, but you do get the deflect arrows feat down here in tier 2 of the enhancement tree. All right, fast sprinter. So this is something that I believe both the base Tabaxi and iconic Tabaxi get, but I think the base Tabaxi tree is not completed yet. It's in preview, so I think it's still not worked out yet. But anyways, this makes your feline agility crazy good. So now your feline agility grants 50% action boost bonus to movement speed for 18 seconds. So now on this Tabaxi, you can be super fast. So you just stand still for 3 seconds, and this triggers, and it triggers for 18 seconds. You get an basically unlimited 50% action boost bonus to movement speed and it lasts for 18 seconds, and you only have to stand still for 3 seconds for it to proc. So you're going to be able to run up to a group of mobs, stand still, melee them, sprint super fast to the next group of mobs, and rinse and repeat. Like, this is going to be a super, super good. If you want to Zerg, this is the race for you. If you want to like grind out lives, like say class lives or epic pass lives really fast, then Tabaxi may be the race for you. Probably the race for you. Just in terms of speed, it's going to be insane how fast this class is going to be. All right, next is Cat's Eye. You have True Seeing, which cannot be dispelled from you. And last, Escape Artist. So this is Escape Artist is interesting because This gives you some benefits, additional benefits for tumbling. So when you tumble, you gain 25% in corporality and 25% concealments for 20 seconds. This can only trigger once per minute. So that's interesting. So when you go to melee the boss or something, you're going to want to tumble before the boss fight starts, or so that you can gain extra defensive bonuses while you melee. And it does last for 20 seconds, so that's as long as a normal action boost. So that's really nice. Extra defense for your Tabaxi. And to finish up, here's their dances. So this is the base Tabaxi. Here's dance number 1. This is female Tabaxi. All right, and here's dance number 2. And here's the dances. This is an iconic male Tabaxi. And this is the first dance. And here's the second dance. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got a lot of information from this video. Let me know below what you think about Tabaxi. Do you like it? Do you not like it? If I've made any mistakes, again, this was on like 3 hours, only 3 hours of testing, playing around with the race. So if I made any mistakes, please note those below. But yeah, I'll be interested in reading your comments. See y'all next time. Have a good one. Take care.